Hello, Professor Toybox here along with Phineas, and today I'm going to show you how to start building the Danville toy box that I showed you last time. My goal today is to frame in the toy box by placing the terrain and roads, and we'll build the rest of it and fill in all the details next week. I'm starting in an empty toy box, and all I've done so far is place my Danville Sky power disc on the Disney Infinity base to set the sky. And I've added a boom box over there to turn off the music so that you can hear me better. And that is all I've done. So the toy box is still empty. So the first thing I'm going to do is place down my Tri-State Terrain power disc on the base. And we can go ahead and switch the world to that. That's fine. It's just the one terrain block. But as you can see, I'm still going to have to set this to be the default. But we'll go ahead and put down a piece of terrain over here. And then I'm going to delete the default one because that's a bit too tall. But let's go ahead and put this one down first and set the terrain. And there's the tri-state area terrain. So I'll set that to be my theme. And there we go. And then we'll go ahead and put down another one here and another one here. And by putting down several of those, I can pick one up and put it back down, because I won't be able to do that otherwise once I delete that piece. But now, since I have more than one terrain piece, I can pick that up and put it down, and that guarantees that the terrain will be textured and oriented the same way as it is right now. Alright, so we're going to put down a grid of 9 of these. And by the way, I've oriented this. The starting pad faces that way, and so I'm orienting this with the city over there. So the roller coaster is going to be behind us as you look at the starting pad. And the player comes into the toy box. Right now, they'll be facing that way. We're going to move that starting pad here before too long, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. Okay, so there's our 9x9. Now we're going to go ahead and put another piece over here off the back end of this in the middle, just like that, towards the roller coasters over there. Okay, and then 2 more pieces I'm going to put down, and then we're going to change the texture. I can get that to line up. There we go. So I'm going to put this one in here, like this. And we're going to put this one over here, like that. And we're going to go ahead and change the texture on this one. And I'm going to use the Frosted White World. And you'll need to unlock that in your Disney Infinity if you haven't already done that. I'm going to set that to be my theme. And this I'm going to use basically for the concrete in the city. So we're going to set this next one here to be that same theme. Just like that. And that saves a little bit of memory, because I don't have to put down sidewalks and everything. I'm just using the terrain for that. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to put down another piece of terrain here, like this, and another one like that, and I'm going to put a row of these across. But that's it for the white texture. So on this one, we're going to go set this back to be the tri-state terrain. And I'll set that to be my theme once again. And in case you're wondering, this is not how I built it the first time, but since I'm building an existing toy box and I want to recreate it, This makes it a little easier for me to do that than to just build it on the fly. Okay, so there we've got basically a 9x9 grid there, with this corner being white. And then we've built out another half a block in this direction, or another half large block, I should say. And we've got we got a large block here facing the roller coaster in that direction, and then split another large block into two, with one textured as grass, one textured as frosted white world, which will kind of look like concrete once we get some city buildings on that. And that's it. That's the size of my whole toy box right there. So it doesn't look very big, because it's not, but it's big enough to do what we need to do. All right. Now for the next part of this, I'm just going to add in a few blocks, because I need to put in a reference point for putting the starting track in here. So this little terrain cube, 1 block in size, is going to sit half off of this block, and we're going to put it on this corner block just like that. All right, and then we're going to put another one, and then this 3 block long block just like that. So that's how far in I need to go. All right, and then I'm going to put one more block in here temporarily, like that, and another one like that. Okay, so we've got 2 small blocks, one of them hanging off the edge, a 3 block long wide piece, and then 2 blocks. Okay, so now we're going to come up to the racing track pieces. Oops. And we're going to start with the racetrack start piece. And this is going to line up right with the corner of that last block we put in. Just like that. Okay? And now we can go ahead and remove all of these. And let's go ahead and theme this. So I'm going to open up the theming menu, and I'm going to set the theme to be Toy Box Roads. And we'll set that to be our theme. There we are. And now I'm going to build the road around the toy box, because this is going to determine where everything goes. So the next piece I'm going to put in is this medium racetrack. We're going to drop that in right here. And then I'm going to come down and put in a short turn. So this short racetrack curve, just like that. And so right off the bat, as you go out of the gate, you're going to have a blind turn around a very sharp corner and not know where it's going. All right, and then we're going to put down a very long racetrack like this. And then right next door is the long racetrack. We'll put that in here like that. And then we'll come back down to the curves, and this time we're going to put in a wider curve, more gradual curve, and put that in there like that. And then back over here to the very long racetrack, and we're going to put in 2 of these. So 1, 2, and now we want a ramp, because this racetrack is basically in the shape of a figure 8. And so we're going to put this in here connected just like that. So I need to put a little bridge in here for the other side of the 8 to come around and go under. So we put that in there like that. And then the steep arched piece goes in, oops, like that. And then I'm going to put in 2 small pieces. And really these are for spacers, because what I'm going to do here is, well, let's go ahead and head over to the terrain blocks. I'm going to fit a piece of terrain under here, and I can't fit it in really underneath this arch, so the closest I can get it is here. And we're going to center it just like that, and we'll need two of them stacked on top of each other. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, but we'll get there in a moment. Let's come back up to the racetrack pieces, and I'm going to go over to the bridge right here, and we're going to connect this on just like that. Okay, and then we'll pick up these small pieces, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we're going to put one here, and we're going to duplicate the terrain structure on that side of the platform. So right over here on the edge of that, stacked too high. So there's where the road is going to go under the bridge. And then once again, we'll come back over here to this steep arch, and we're going to flip this around and put one on that side with a steep bowed track down there, and that gets us back down to ground level. And then we're going to put in two curves like this and like that. So it's going to be a tight turn around there. And then we'll come back over and pick up the long racetrack. Put this in here, and that should give us the spacing we need now. I'm going to pick this piece up and put it down, rotate and stick this in here, and that's got it now centered going right underneath that bridge. So I like that. And then this piece, we're going to put a very long racetrack piece here, and we're going to put three of them down. So there's one, there's two, there's three, and then one more wide curve. And that gets us lined up down there. And then we just need some straight pieces to complete the track. So 1, 2, and there we are. So now we have the basic foundation for the toy box. We have the terrain, all of the terrain pieces are in, except for Agent P's lair, but we'll get to that later. And we have the road, and we'll be fitting in everything else around the road. Now let's see, we're doing pretty good on time. Let's go ahead and do just a little bit more. So I'm going to come over here and come back out of Spark mode, and let's work on the sidewalks. So for the sidewalks, come down to the blocks drawer, and we're looking for the small floor piece. We're going to put that in, and I'm going to put this as close as I can get it to this corner. And actually, let's go ahead and just start up here. Maybe we'll start on this end. So I think this might be a little bit better. So we're going to go up to the corner of this. So the opposite corner from the starting gate. I'll put that down. And then we're going to set the theme on this to be concrete. Just like that. Okay. And then essentially we're going to run this down all the way down along the edge there. And we're going to come across the street. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to run this up. I can't go any further this way because it collides with that racetrack. But I'm going to take this all the way down to the end of there. And I'll fast forward after I've done that, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, so there we are. We have the sidewalks in all the way down, and those little white blocks kind of look like sections of sidewalk. So that works out really well. Sometimes I don't like the way you see the seams between the blocks, but in this case, that works good. All right, so there's that road. Now we're going to come over here and do essentially the same thing with this road. So I'm going to come down, we're just around this corner, across from the starting gate, and we're at this seam. And we're going to put down a block that straddles this seam just like that. And we'll go one block further that way. And then we're going to go down a bunch of blocks down this direction. And I'm going to go all the way down to the start of this ramp right here. So at this point, the ramp is starting, and I'm going to go one more past that. And I think that's correct. We may have to put a second one down, but I'm not quite sure. And we're going to come across and do the exact same thing over here. And run this along this side of the road. And this is the road that heads into town. And now this one, we're going to run into a little bit of a hiccup here. That's as far as I can go. So we're going to do that. And actually, yeah, that should work. We technically don't need these last three, but for right now, I'll leave those in there. Okay, so there's that. And we'll go ahead and put in a little bit more here. And go back to my screenshot. So on this side of the road, we're going to place another block right here on the end like that, right between the two seams of that road. So just like that. And I'm not quite sure exactly how far I have to go. I think I need to go just a little bit further, so we'll do just two past that for right now, since I'm not exactly sure. Looks like we got 15 or 16 blocks. I'm counting on my screenshot, so there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Need at least 2 more. So for right now, I'll put down those, and I may take some of those out. And then we'll come across the street and do essentially the same thing. And one way to find out if this is right, let's come over here to this corner. And again, I can't put that piece there like that, but I can put one here. So we're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll put down a large one. And then 6 more. 5. And this will be 6. Okay. And actually, take that back. We only need 5. All right. And then we'll grab this piece, and I'm going to fill in the parking lot that goes in the alley and the parking behind some of these buildings that are going to be here in this little shopping area. There. And that'll work. Okay. And then the buildings will end up sitting and covering up some of the grass in there and overlapping that sidewalk a little bit. So that's looking pretty good so far, but I think this is a good stopping point for today. I don't want this video to drag on too long. Next time, we'll build Phineas and Ferb's house and the neighborhood around it. Until then, I want to thank you for watching my video today, and I want to thank everyone for all the positive feedback you've given me on this series so far. I've had a lot of requests for a Phineas and Ferb toy box, and I know some of you have been waiting for this series for a long time. I'm glad you enjoyed the sneak preview and the playthrough video. Those were fun to record. I have a lot of great new toy boxes lined up for next year, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you like Disney Infinity, just click my photo in the lower right corner so you don't miss any of my videos. For now, Phineas and I are signing off. Take care.